I'm calling in the creator to the CEO who crave creating community and cash to create it like a boss. With me, Katrina Julia, as your host, multi-passionate entrepreneur, creator, and CEO who has walked from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and continues to, with experience in 7+ industries, 7,000 plus creators and startups, to creators to Fortune 500 brands, including Google, NBC, Victoria's Secret, and more. If you are ready to create it like never before in faith, wellness, wealth, marketing, business, travel, and more, this is the show for you. If this is your time to have freedom in all forms as you create it like a boss, let's create it. Welcome to an episode on my word for the year 2024. So I'm curious to know if you focus on a word each year and what your journey has been with that as well. If you've tuned into the show for a while, you know that last year my phrase was, I am divinely disciplined. And I started practicing a word for the year or a phrase, depending on how I'm divinely led, back in 2018. So you may or may not participate in the practice of focusing on one word for the year. I didn't either until 2018 when a mentor of mine, Garen Jones with Herbalife Nutrition, suggested the book One Word or Get One Word. Let me make sure I have the title right because that just piqued my brain. It is One Word That Will Change Your Life, and One Word, and I believe the book is by John Gordon. I haven't read it since 2018, but I highly recommend it. Yes, it's One Word by John Gordon, and One Word That Will Change Your Life. And you can Google One Word and John Gordon, or a One Word book. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and there's a lot of activities, and the book is very, very, very insightful. So just to give you a bit of background, in 2018, the word that I received was faith. Then 2019 was freedom. And what's really interesting is every year when I select a word or I feel like it's divinely downloaded, inevitably all the things that are opposite start to come up, in a sense, for healing, for release, for forgiveness, for processing, for all the things, right? So 2018, it was faith. 2019, freedom. 2020, joy. So you can imagine all the challenges in 2020 to focus on joy in the midst of 2021. I have them marked on my phone. Hold on. 2022 was I am divinely disciplined. 2021 is I am perfectly present. Yep. And then 2020 was joy. So I remembered them all. And what also happens, what's interesting, is that they tend to build on each other almost like compound interest. And so my word for this year that I feel like was divinely downloaded in mid 2023 is worthy. Worthy, I am worthy as I am. And as I was walking through last year, and my phrase of I'm divinely disciplined and just discipline and all that comes up, so many things were coming up for me in a state of, am I worthy? Do I believe I'm worthy? How has my worthiness foundation, past, present, or future, impacted my life, impacted X area, impacted my discipline? And discipline also, for those of you that believe in God, ties to disciple. So all of it was intertwining for me on spiritual, and continues to, energetic levels. And so worthy was coming up for me a lot last year, and I felt confirmation towards the middle and then especially the end of last year that my word to focus on 2024 is worthy. And then not just for me, but the immense impact and influence and inspiration on my life and all of our lives to truly believe and feel and act from a foundation of worthiness in every area of life. Because when you think about it, like whether even I'll use my health as an example. When I used to be 55 plus pounds overweight and constantly unstable in, health, where did that come from? That came from an instability in the mind, a lack of faith and a lack of belief that I was worthy in the mind that was influenced by past, present, and that past and present and potential future. But then that trajectory changed. That was influenced and impacted by repeat attempts or what I perceived as failed attempts that went back to a rocky foundation of not believing I was worthy. So, as this started to come up last year, and then now walking into 2024 with this word, this year and moving forward, I am choosing and committing to be, feel, and do worthy and to embody worthiness. And I'm committing to embracing that I am worthy as I am. I'm worthy of healing. I'm worthy of dreams and desires. I'm worthy of peace. I'm worthy of abundance. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of freedom. And I am worthy of community. And I invite you to think about all this for your own life and the areas of your own life that you seem to have a consistent challenge or consistent pain. And when I say that, I'm saying that to myself as well, because one of the beyond health, one of the biggest areas for me that has been unearthed and revealed to believe that I am worthy, to feel worthy, to do worthy is in wealth. And with women, with men as well, but with women, there's so many connotations, familial, generational, cultural, patriarchal impacts on wealth for women. And, with being worthy and with that focus, I'm starting off this year in 2024 in a state of, it was really interesting because I came to Cyprus, my 37th country, the 28th of December, after spending the last 2.5 months in Bulgaria with my parents, which you can listen all about that on my Creator Confessions episode, a couple episodes before this. And so I started off resting, decompressing, reflecting, and then starting off the year 2024 in a state of awe and wonder and with aligning to being worthy in more ways than one. And this week alone, I have felt like I've encountered more eternal love and external actions and adventure than I did in most months last year. And my life verse is perfect love drives out all fear, 1 John 4:18. So that's a lot of what I reflect on all the time of like, what state am I being in? And, this week I embraced reflecting on the past year. I participated in Brendan Bouchard's New Year's event, which I've done every year since 2017, and I did a vision board this year and a financial vision board, which if you're in my email list, you can see a snapshot of that. And I'll also post it on my Instagram reel. And, completed my passion planner journal for the year, and then alignment to lifetime, my game changer goal focus, as well as this week and this month. And then beyond that, I explored Bela P Monastery, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Kyrenia Castle and Harbor, the Salome Ruins, which is where Barnabas and Paul started the Acts Church. And I have it pictured in my email blast that covers my word of the year. And then I'll also post it. I posted it on stories already on my Instagram at Katrina Julia Fit, but I will also post a reel with it. I have an awesome pic I did by simply setting up my tripod in front of the courtyard in the Salome Ruins, which are alongside the beach. And along the coast of Cyprus, the island. And then I also went to St. Barnabas's church. So I believe what we believe, how we feel, and how we act aligns with our sense of worthiness. I mean, think about it. Have you been having a dream that you've been desiring to achieve, but for whatever reason, you fail repeatedly to not take the aligned steps to get there? Whether it's weight loss, whether it's living a life of freedom, whether it's changing your, getting to financial freedom. And yet you tend to do the opposite and self-sabotage. Where do you think that comes from? From a lack of believing that you're worthy, and or we tend to oftentimes repeat what we've seen growing up. Like when I look back on the last 7+ years, there's so much I've transformed and I'm so grateful for, and I celebrate that. But I feel like as long as we're on earth, like when we embrace it and choose to choose it, there's a constant transformation, especially if we desire to live out to our fullest potential while being content, being grateful, but still reaching to grow like a plant, like a tree, etc. Like a plant, a tree never stops growing as long as it's nourished and fed, etc. Right? And so even walking in this year, end of last year into this year, my brain, like literally I just finished this book, Clearing Up Your Mental Mess by Dr. Carolyn Leaf, who's not only a believer and talks about scripture, but she's also a neuroscientist and she has incredible works. In any event, as I was going through different books like the Inner Child Workbook, my own healings, and then shifting different habits and thoughts and beliefs, the end of last year into this year, I was realizing where I had been in the grips of so many self-sabotaging money habits, like living beyond means, like people pleasing and spending more on gifts or birthdays or Christmases than is good for me at the moment, like under earning. Side note, I participated in a CPA Academy course last week, and I knew about, like many of us, Alcoholics Anonymous, but I had no idea about Under Earners Anonymous and Debtors Anonymous. Joyce Meyer, who has an incredible book and guide called The Financial Fix, which focuses on a wheel of basically our, financial state, talked about this in one of the CPE classes I attended last week. And I was like, oh my God. And like when I thought about worthiness, I've facilitated for years from either extravagant spending or earning a ton to then under earning, being a diva to a doormat, and going back and forth. And when I think back, it was similar types of behaviors or habits when I used to be overweight or drink alcohol. Speaking of, I've now been sober for over 8 years and zero temptations, zero cravings, zero desires to come back. So I'm pointing to health and mindset because I know and believe more and more and more, if I and we can transform that, or whatever that area is for you that you've been great at, then that same alignment, that same worthiness, those same actions can transfer with time, energy, investment, effort to another area of life that you deeply desire to transform. And for me this year, that is finances, and that is a financial flow and financial freedom. So, as I began 2024 with a focus on worthy, I wanted to share some more reflections and invite you to do the same, to reflect. Number 1, self-reflection. Taking the time to explore beliefs on worthiness, identifying the areas where I will increase worthiness from the inside out, challenging myself and ourselves to transform our mindset. Number 2, self-care and love. Prioritizing self-care to nurture senses of worthiness daily with affirmations, prayer, journaling, grace, adventures, and activities that bring me and bring us joy. Understanding that self-care and self-love is not selfish, it is selfless. I am reclaiming my power and energy with the freedom to step away, be silent, reflect and heal, and not engage in people, places, or things that do not serve my highest good. And releasing on how and if to respond. I'm choosing to embody the energy of a queen. Number 3, creating community. I'm co-creating a community with a chosen family that inspires, influences, and impacts me to rise higher, and that I do the same. Number 4, celebrating wins. I'm choosing to celebrate my wins. I'm choosing to celebrate every win, regardless of perceived judgment or projections of size. I'm recognizing my progress to increase my worthiness so my motivation continues to grow for progress. I'm reminding myself and others that we are all worthy of love, peace, abundance, freedom, and community. Let me know if you have a word for the year. I would love to know. As always, create, transform, and inspire. You are born to. All the chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel so you create a life and business you already. Head on over to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagement. Let's create it.